third consecutive day as Post State hosts Sioux Falls West in a doubleheader here, looking for a big 6-0 weekday stretch of 6 games in 3 days as Post State is 4-0 to open up these 6 games that they're playing here at Hyde Stadium Tuesday, yesterday, and here today as they host Sioux Falls West. Sioux Falls West coming in at 2-4. Knocked off Sturgis. They have only played since this past weekend when they went to the Dakota Classic, stayed in the Dakota Classic in Sioux Falls. They played Sturgis on Tuesday, yesterday, and now here they are for this 2 games against Post State 2 days later as they are traveling here on the road. Post State's coming in at 7-3, 6 in a row after starting the year at 1-3. That doubleheader sweep of Rapid City Post 22 has turned into 2 on Sunday against Renner and Post 22, a sweep of Rapid City Post 320, and a sweep yesterday of the Aberdeen Smitties, who they will play again on Sunday. They could potentially looking to make it maybe 8 here in a row today, maybe get that win streak up to double digits before they head to Sioux Falls next week, Tuesday, against East and Yankton. On the mound will be Bennett Dean. Bennett Dean had a great performance on Sunday after McGuire Rasky went down with the what turns out to be an elbow injury where he will need surgery to be able to pitch again. And Bennett Dean came in the second inning of that ball game and was very good against that Renner team and ended up helping Post State pick up that first win of the day, which was their second win of the season, and pulled them within a game of 500 and started this 6-game win streak. He's going to try and keep it going and make it a 7-game win streak here this afternoon. 4 o'clock is our scheduled start time for game number 1, and then we'll have that second game 30 minutes after that first one is done. For Post State, things are starting to maybe slow down just a little bit. Game on Sunday. They'll have 2 days off. Practice tomorrow, then a day off on Saturday, and then we'll play on Sunday against Aberdeen, a day off on Monday before traveling to Sioux Falls. Play Mandan on Wednesday, and then travel the Minot tournament the following Friday. That through that Sunday, and of course, all those games will be on today's KCCR, KCCR.com. We'll go through starting lineups here in just a little bit. You're listening to the pregame show of Post State and Sioux Falls West. Back in 3 minutes, you're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, as we get set for game number one of Sioux Falls West and Post 8 here from Hyde Stadium. Post 8, 4 straight wins here to open up the week on Tuesday and Wednesday off of a doubleheader sweep of Rapid City Post 320 and then a doubleheader sweep of the Aberdeen Smitties after it was a 6-5 win to open up the Tuesday, and then it was a 7-2 win, followed by an 11-1 win against Aberdeen and a 5-3 win last night to close out those first 4 games for Post State as they welcome in Sioux Falls West. West is at 2-4 so far this season. Haven't played too many games, so still trying to, especially in that Sioux Falls area, trying to get everything figured out with the coronavirus and making sure everybody's ready to go and healthy enough and keep things, the safety precautions and the sanitation, make sure everything's going good for Sioux Falls to continue to play baseball this summer, and glad that they could be a part of this 2020 summer as well, as we'll go travel to Sioux Falls on Tuesday as they take on Sioux Falls East and Yankton does Post State. For Sioux Falls West, Dylan Hansen will be the man on the mound for West, as he will be opposed by Bennett Dean for Post State, and both guys are looking for a strong start in the first couple of innings. That first round through the lineup is going to be important for Bennett Dean and for Dylan Hansen as well, as Post State continues to hit the ball really well throughout the beginning part of this season. And for Bennett Dean, wants to make sure he continues to throw strikes just like he did on Sunday against Runner after he came in the top of the second and had 5 solid innings of work against the Runner Post 307 Royals in that second win of the season, first win of the day, part of that 2-win day against Runner and Post 22 Hard Hats. We will have the lineups in just a little bit. We'll have first pitch coming up here in about 8 minutes. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. Come back with more of the pregame show. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here at Hyde Stadium as we continue the pregame show here as the Post-State baseball team looking to take on Sioux Falls West, looking for two big wins against Sioux Falls West, and it starts here with game one with the 4 o'clock first pitch, so coming up here in about 5 minutes. Starting lineups, we'll start with Post-State. Andrew Coverdale will lead things off as he's playing second base. Garrett Stout is the shortstop batting second. Andy Gordon's the DH batting third. Gray Zabel will bat fourth in the cleanup spot as he is the first baseman. Cade Hinkle, the number 5 hitter catching. River Iverson, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Matt Lust, the center fielder, batting seventh. Jack Van Camp's the right fielder, batting eighth. And Lincoln Keenels is rounding out the order as he is the third baseman for Post-State here in game number 1. Bennett Dean is on the mound, looking to continue his pitching performance from Sunday. He threw on last Friday as well, and then got a really, really good game on Sunday and looks to go through this batting order of Sioux Falls West unscathed in that first couple of innings, as that will really bring a big boost to Post-State in the first game of this doubleheader. For Sioux Falls West, Ethan Barron's the DH as he will lead things off. Mitch Willis will bat second and play second base. Connor Asavi is the shortstop batting third. Dylan Addis is the third baseman in the cleanup spot. Gabe Stahl will be the first baseman batting fifth. Keaton Hartman will be the center fielder batting sixth. Graham Sanders, the right fielder, batting seventh. Jamie Legg is the center fielder, or the catcher, batting eighth. And Billy Chatwell will be the left fielder as he bats ninth for Sioux Falls West here in game number 1. A lot of guys on Sioux Falls West, about 19 guys in the on the roster for Sioux Falls West. So, it might have a complete different, an overhaul of a different lineup depending on how game 1 goes for Sioux Falls West. Post-State, they got a strong lineup as well. They got a deep lineup, but we've seen most of these same 6-7 guys in the lineup, 8 guys in the lineup for the majority of the first 10 games of the year. And we might see that, especially with all the South Dakota teams. Every game matters this year, starting this year going forward, because they'll be ranked by power points, and that'll determine your seeding 1 through 16 going into the state tournament, which will be the top 8 seeds hosting the bottom 8 seeds in the best of 3. And then the top 4 seeds will host the bottom 4 seeds in the round of 8s in the super regional, if you would say. And then the state tournament will be the remaining 4 teams at the highest seed remaining that will host. So those 2 lineups have been announced, waiting for the umpires to take the field. And with that, they are taking the field. So we will step aside for 2 minutes and come back with first pitch. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, first pitch just about set here As we have hit the 4 o'clock hour, listen to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. Leading off is Ethan Barron for the Sioux Falls West to the DH in game number 1. You see the DH be the number 1 spot, being the leadoff spot here for Sioux Falls West. Bennett Dean will deliver the first pitch, and that one will be missed for ball 1 as we're underway here right at 4:01 on this Thursday afternoon. As we started at 6 o'clock Tuesday, 5 o'clock Wednesday, and here at 4 o'clock as the 1-0 pitch is grounded to the shortstop Stout. He'll wait on it, field the throw to first, and over to Zabel in time. The leadoff man is retired. Here to open up the ball game. And that will bring in the number 2 hitter, Mitch Willis, the second baseman. Willis will bat second. Connor Rasavi, the shortstop, batting third. Dylan Addis, the third baseman, the cleanup spot. Gabe Stahl, the first baseman, batting fifth. Keaton Hartman will bat at sixth, playing center field. Graham Sanders, the right fielder, batting seventh. As the first pitch is inside to Mitch Willis. Jamie Legg will be the center fielder, batting eighth. And Billy Chatwell will round out the order, playing left field. The 1-0 for the right-hander, Bennett Dean. That one is low for ball 2, and it's now 2-0. Again, Dean's looking to continue that, what he left off on Sunday against Renner in that first game of the day. 2-0 pitch. That one misses low. Now 3-0 to the number 2 hitter. Dean came in after Rasky left with an injury and threw a gem in between Rasky leaving and Lusk coming in and shutting the door. 3-0 pitch is over for strike 1. Dean threw 3 innings, gave up just 1 earned run in those 3 innings on Sunday against Renner. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That one is low, and it's a 1-out walk to Willis, and that will bring in Connor Rasavi. The shortstop here in game number 1 as we go through the defensive positioning for Post State. River Iverson's out in left field, Matt Lusk in center, and Jack Van Camp out in right field. The first pitch to Rizavi is taken for strike 1. Lincoln Keno's the third baseman, Garrett Stout at short, Andrew Coverdale at second, Ray Zabel at first, and Kate Hinkle's behind the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side. Stout will have to slide. Knocked it down and no play. It's going to be an infield single. And it's first and second with 1 down as Risavi will be on base. That'll bring in the cleanup hitter. Dylan Addis, the third baseman. First and second. 1 down here in the top of the first inning. Dean from the stretch. Here's the first pitch to Addis. Misses outside for ball 1. In the Sioux Falls West, you got a big roster. See how many guys they use in these 2 games. The 1-0 pitch from Dean. That one's at the letters now, 1-1. Beautiful afternoon here for baseball. Much different feel than what it did on Tuesday and Wednesday. In the 70s, low 80s for the first pitch. Now 2-1 to Addis. Here's the 2-1 from Dean. That one will get away from Hinkle, and it's going to get to the backstop, and it's second and third now with 1 down, and it's 3-1 to the cleanup hitter. It's 74 degrees here at first pitch. A great afternoon for some baseball. It's 70. Start the earliest of the 3 days, and we got the best weather of the 3 days. 3-1 pitch. That one misses low, and it's a 1-out walk. And he'll bring in Gabe Stahl, the first baseman. Bases are loaded. No 1 down here in the top of the first inning. A walk, a base hit, and a walk. The last 3 hitters have loaded them up, and Gabe Stahl can give Sioux Falls West an early lead here in the top of the first. Bennett Dean first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Stahl and Hartman, the next 2 hitters. Followed by Graham Sanders, and Bennett Dean will Dean's looking to get a ground ball somewhere here. That one's fouled back and it's 0-2, and now he'll take a strikeout or a ground ball, preferably right back to the mound for start a potential 1-2-3 double play. Keenels and Zabel are in at the corners. Back in the middle, still trying to, they can get out of this inning with a double play at anywhere. The 0-2 is missed outside and low, now 1-2. Wind's blowing a little out towards maybe left center. Is not a whole lot of wind to go around. It was Tuesday and Wednesday. 1-2. That one misses low. Now 2-2. One hit so far here for Sioux Falls West. Bennett Dean trying to work out some first inning trouble. Here's a 2-2. That one's popped up, foul territory. Van Camp will race after it. Nobody's going to get over to it in time. We're making it 2-2. Van Camp went 5 innings in that 5-inning win in game 1 yesterday. Gave up just 1 run, and it was unearned in the 11-1 win. The 2-2 again. At the knees for strike 3, and that's a big second out for Bennett Dean. And now force out anywhere, can get a pop fly, whatever he can get from Keaton Hartman to get him out of this first inning. Bases are loaded with 2 down here in the top of the first. First pitch to Hartman. He'll line that one to right field. Van Camp going over, dives, and it can't make the catch. It's going to roll all the way to the wall, and all 3 runs are going to score. Hartman's going to round second. He's going to be on with a 2-out, 3 RBI triple, as Van Camp just couldn't get that diving catch to save the scoreless inning. And it's 3-0 for Sioux Falls West here in the top of the first. Boy, that was the only play Van Camp had, was to try and make that diving snag down the right field line. And just missed it. Here's the first pitch to Graham Sanders, taken for strike 1. So now Hartman cleared the bases, and he's standing at third base, so any kind of base hit will drive him in as well. The 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, is fouled back. Now 0-2. Jamie Legg, the catcher, is on deck. He would be the 8th hitter to come to the plate here in the top of the first as Dean tries to get out of this. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's popped up. Going back on his Coverdale, coming in on his Lusk. And Matt Lusk will dive, and he makes the catch. Matt Lusk will make that diving catch to end the top of the first inning, but 3-run scores on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played a half an inning. Sioux Falls West has a 3-0 lead. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, the lineup here for Post-State, Andrew Coverdale lead things off. Garrett Stout will bat second, playing shortstop. Andy Gordon's the DH as he bats third. Gray Zabel, the cleanup hitter, playing first base. Kane Hinkle, the catcher, batting fifth. River Iverson, the left fielder, batting sixth. Matt Lusk will bat seventh and play center field. Jack Van Camp is the right fielder, batting eighth. And Lincoln Keenels will bat ninth as he is the third baseman here in game number 1. Dylan Hansen is on the mound here for Sioux Falls West. He's got a 3-0 cushion here in the going to the bottom of the first inning after that 3 RBI triple from Keaton Hartman to make it a 3-0 ball game. Andrew Coverdale comes in at 7 for 10 to lead off the bottom of the first inning in the 10 games so far. One that, as he continues to stay hot from that leadoff spot, continues to stay hot from, in general, of getting on base. He's actually reached base 8 of the 10 times. Here's the first pitch to Andrew Coverdale. He'll swing at that one and drive it out towards left center field, going back onto the center fielder, and he'll make the catch. That is Hartman, and there's 1 pitch and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. So Post State coming in at 7-3. 6 wins in a row. And will have to come back here in this ball game already down 3-0 after the top of the first. First pitch from Hansen to Stout is missed for ball 1. Stout hit the 2-run home run that ended the ball game in game number 1 yesterday for the 11-1 win. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a ground ball to the right side. That one gets through for a base hit. And Stout is the first hit for Post States here in game 1. That'll bring in Andy Gordon. We're in the DH here in game number 1. Boy, and you talk about guys, in general, guys that have been hot. Andy Gordon's always has been that guy that stayed hot throughout this first part of the season, but then you really just look at it, and there's not too many guys that aren't really swinging the bat well right now. First pitch to Gordon is missed low for ball 1. That's something that's been different for this Post State team than what it was last year and even back in the spring of 2019. Hits were very much at a premium as a pickoff attempt and back in safely as Stout. But here so far in 2020, Post State is really haven't had their shortages of hits. The 1-0 pitch. That one is low, 2-0. Stout takes off for second. The throw will get into center field, but Stout will not take off for third, as he will take second on that pitch in the dirt. And I believe that kind of took leg up by surprise. He thought he did block it well, but Stout read it better and took second. Would have made it with a clean throw as it was. So he's in scoring position with 1 down here in the bottom of the first. Count is 2-0 to Andy Gordon. Hansen will come set. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's at the letters, 2-1 to the DH. Gordon and Stout, the only 2 with home runs so far here in 2020. Gordon got a 2-run home run back against Mitchell in game 2, which was also game 2 of the 2020 season. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That one is in the dirt, 3-1. And a good stop there by Leg, and Stout unable to advance to third, but Gordon has a very good hitter's count, up 3-1 in the count. Gray Zabel is on deck. Hansen comes set. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Gordon, to right field, that's down for a base hit. Stout's going to come around third, and he's going to score without a play. And Andy Gordon's got an RBI single, and it's a 3-1 ball game. And Gordon continues to be the RBI machine in that number 3 spot, which you want from your number 3 hitter. And here comes the protection that Andy Gordon has in that number 3 spot, Gray Zabel, who's been hitting the ball very, very well in the last several games. The shortstop, Rizvi, is shading more towards second base for Zabel. But really the last 3-4 hits that Zabel has had this past couple of games has been through that left side of the infield. You can use all parts of the field. Count is 1-0 to the big man Zabel. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's down the left field line, but it's going to slice foul. That one was a one-hopper off the wall as well. Boy, that one got there in a hurry. And it's now 1-1. Zabel's teammate on the football field, Reagan Bolwig, will be an opponent to him not this coming season, but the following year, as Bullwig will have a senior season, but he's going to go to South Dakota State, play football. He announced it on Twitter. You can check out the story on today's KCCR.com. Hansen comes set. Here's the 1-1. This is low now, 2-1 to Zabel. In the outfield, Billy Chatwell, Keaton Hartman, and it is Graham Sanders in right field. Otis at third, Rizvi at short, Willis at second, Gabe Stahl is the first baseman. Jamie Legg is behind the plate as Hansen threw the ball over to first to check Gordon. He dove back in safely. Hansen will come set again. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Gray Zabel. Outside, 3-1 now to Zabel. On deck is Cade Hinkle. Another left-handed hitter in that order for Post State. River Iverson will follow him. Rizvi still shading near that second base bag over at shortstop. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Zabel will take strike two, and now the count is full. And we'll see if Gordon takes off of the pitch, knowing that Zabel will have to protect and see if just get him moving to try and save a double play if he hits it on the ground. Hansen again comes set. The 3-2 pitch. Gordon not moving, and Zabel pops it foul. It's going to get out of play. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Boy, that one carried out there too. Zabel gets a hold of one. He might hit one out going oppo. Hansen for the 3-2 again to Zabel. This time Gordon is off of the pitch. That one's through for a base hit. Gordon will round second, and he's going to get to third. And Zabel gets a base hit right up the middle. And it's first and third with one down. 3 straight hits for Post State. And here comes Cade Hinkle, who can make it a one-run ball game with a base hit. So even with Gordon moving on the pitch and a ground ball back up the middle, the second baseman and shortstop Willis and Rizvi weren't over there in time to field that ground ball, and it got into center field, and Gordon took a quick hard left turn to get to third base. First pitch to Cade Hinkle is outside for ball one. Gordon's on at third base. Zabel on at first. 3-1 is our score. Sioux Falls West. They lead by 2. Billy Chatwell shading Hinkle to the left center field spot. The 1-0 pitch is at the letters, now 1-1. So the catcher, Cade Hinkle. Yesterday for Post State and for Hinkle. Went 1 for 6 with that base hit in game number 1. The 1-1 is outside now, 2-1. Post State defensively yesterday in game 1 was just fine. Game 2 was not so well. They allowed those 3 runs for Aberdeen to score, all 3 of them unearned, had 3 errors in that inning as well. The 2-1 pitch, that one's upstairs now, 3-1. And River Iverson will be the man on deck. And Hansen is starting to labor. He got Coverdale to fly out in the first pitch. And Cincinnati's giving up 3 straight hits. Here's a 3-1. That one misses low, and it's now the bases will be loaded for River Iverson. And for River Iverson coming in after yesterday, Iverson went to 1 for 2 as he was lifted early in game number 1 and did not play in game number 2. First pitch to Iverson, hits him, and that's going to get an RBI. Him up near the hands. And so Iverson will get an RBI the hard way, and it's now a 3-2 ball game, and the bases remain loaded with 1 down. And here's Matt Lusk. And Lusk will try and at least tie this ball game up with Zabel now at third base, Hinkle at second, and Iverson at first. The first pitch to the center fielder, Lusk, is taken for strike 1. Lust did not record in that bat yesterday as he walked both his plate appearances. He did come around to score both times. Then was lifted for Colin Bergman. 0-1 pitch is at the knees, now 0-2. And this is a big spot in the order with one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Bases loaded. I'd like to keep that train moving to tie the ball game up and not have two outs when Jack Van Camp comes to the plate. There's the 0-2 fouled over to the third base coaching box, and Coach White got a hand on it and didn't feel it cleanly. And it remains 0-2. Hansen's going to work from the windup. And here comes the 0-2 pitch to Matt Lusk. Upstairs now 1-2. Post State's looking to tie this ball game up after being down 3-0 after the top of the first inning. Here's 3-2 in the bottom of the first. The 1-2 pitch to Lusk. Upstairs now 2-2. Job by Matt Lusk to get the count back even. Jack Van Camp is on deck. Would be the eighth man to come to the plate. Hope to see him come to the plate with a tie ball game, at least a tie ball game. 2-2. That one's flown out to center field. Going back on it's the center fielder Hartman. He's going to make the catch. Tagging from second and third are Henkel and Zabel. And it's an RBI sac fly for Matt Lusk to tie the ball game up at 3. And that's a great and a good heads-up play by Henkel to tag up from second to get to third. So now a base hit will drive in Henkel from Jack Van Camp and could give Post State a lead here in the bottom of the first. So both guys so far here in the bottom of the first inning have flown out to center field. And here's Van Camp. Runner is off to second, off the catcher's glove. Here comes Henkel. He's going to try and score, and he's going to score without a throw. And Post State has taken a 4-3 lead. Went off the glove of leg as the man from first, and Iverson was off with the pitch. He stole it easily. And coming in to score is Henkel. So now here is Van Camp with a 4-3 lead. 1-0 is the count, and he could drive in River Iverson with a base hit. 1-0 pitch. Van Camp back up the middle, takes a high chopper, diving play from the shortstop, Rizvi. He's going to knock it down, so Van Camp's going to get just a single. But if that goes past Rizvi, it's a 5-3 ball game, and Van Camp gets an RBI single. Instead, it's just a two-out single. And we'll keep Lincoln Keenels up to the plate. And the ninth man to come to the plate here for Post State in the first inning. First and third. See if Van Camp takes off of the first pitch. There he goes for second. Lincoln Keenels will fly this one out towards left field. Chatwell will move over, and he'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. So all 9 guys come to the plate. A 4-run score on 3 hits in the inning. No errors, and 2 men left on base. 4 hits 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors, 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the second. Post State has a 4-3 lead. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the second inning here at Hyde Stadium, as leading off will be the number 8 hitter, Jamie Legg, the catcher. As it'll be 8-9-1 Bennett Dean will look to make quick work of this second inning. First pitch is taken for strike one. 4 runs in that first inning for Post State. 7 runs combined in the first inning between these two teams. That'll total of 16 guys come to the plate. As it's now 1-1 to the number 8 hitter, Jamie Legg. 1 swing and a miss, now 0-2. Post State on a 6-game winning streak, 7-3 on the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Right down the middle and looked out for strike 3, and there's the first outs here in the top of the second inning. As Hinkle ailmares the throw to third base in the left field. And here's Billy Chatwell. And there's one down here in the top of the second. There's something to be said about a 6-game winning streak and what just happened in that bottom of the first inning for Post State as the first pitch to Chatwell comes in. That one's out towards left center field, and that one's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to take a 1 hop, 2 hops off the wall, and then Matt Lusk will pick it up at second. He's going to try to get to third. Stout, the throw to third is going to get over Lincoln Keatles, but backing it up was Bennett Dean. And so it'll be a triple for Billy Chatwell. And the third hit in the ballgame for Sioux Falls West. Stout had a chance, but overthrew Keatles. Trying to fire it in there to get Chatwell, but instead is now runner on third with 1 down, and we're back to the top of the order. There's a check swing. It's going to get to the shortstop, Stout. He's going to try and come home with it. It's going to get the man out at the plate. As a runner at third, Chatwell did not run right away to make sure that ball got down, and then he took off, and Stout threw him out at home. And that's a big second out. Fielder's choice for Barron. But not a smart base running decision by Chatwell to take off for home after Stout kind of had that exhibition of his arm on that last throw, and then he tests him again from a much shorter distance. And he threw a strike, and all Chatwell could do was almost try to leap over Hinkle. As almost taking off for second, trying to get back to first was Barron. And Hinkle almost backpicked him off at first, but it does miss for ball 1. So there's 2 down here in the top of the second. Now just a runner on first. Pick-off attempt and back in safely is Barron. Mitch Willis walked in the top of the first, came around to be that first run to score. Here's the 0-2, or excuse me, the 1-0. There's the one's flown out towards left field. Iverson's going back on it, still going back. He's going to turn. It's going to the bottom of the wall. Iverson will throw it into Stout. Stout's going to try and throw it home. He's going to try and get another man on the plate. They're going to get another guy out. What a relay from Stout to Hinkle. And they gun down Barron at the plate. And that will end the top of the second inning. 2 guys are gunned down at the plate, and it's still a 4-3 ball game. Great defense there from Post State in that second inning. No runs, 2 hits in the inning, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So we head to the bottom of the second. It's a 4-3 lead for Post State. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. So we are back at the top of the order for the bottom of the second inning in a 4-3 lead for Post State. as River Iverson, Garrett Stout. Those two throws to gun down. Barron's trying to score from first base in the 2-out double. And two men were gunned down at the plate as the first pitch goes over the top of the head of Andrew Coverdale. And he was able to duck out of the way and barely get the bat down in time. As it's 1-0 to the leadoff man here in the second, and also leadoff man in the batting order for Post State. It's now 2-0 to Coverdale. He flew out to center field in the first pitch of the bottom of the first, and then Post State really took over. The next five guys reached base safely for a sacrifice fly from Matt Lusk, another base hit from Jack Van Camp. And Lincoln Keenels was the last out in the bottom of the first. All three guys flew out to the outfield. Here's the 2-1 pitch now to Coverdale. That one's on the outside edge, now 2-2. In action, the bullpen for Sioux Falls West for the second straight inning. As Hanson will deliver the 2-2. Coverdale will foul it back and remains at 2-2. Coverdale, Stout, and Gordon, the first three hitters here in the bottom of the second. As we play here in game number one at Hyatt Stadium, 2-2, swing and a miss. And Coverdale goes down on strikes. And just like how the second inning started for Post State with that strikeout, the catcher in leg airmails the throw to the third baseman and goes into left field. So we get Garrett Stout out of the plate. Stout singled, stole second, came around to score on an RBI single from Andy Gordon that made it a 3-1 lead for Sioux Falls West and started that 4-run inning for Post State. Here's the first pitch to Garrett Stout outside for ball one. Stout had that first chance from Matt Lusk. He threw it into the cutoff man Stout as for Billy Chatwell and overshot the third baseman Lincoln Keenels. Now 2-0 to Stout. Then he got the next chance on a somewhat of a soft liner that took one hop to him. Chatwell got a late jump on it, and Stout gunned him out at the plate. And it's now 3-0. 2-0 to Garrett Stout. 3-0 to Garrett Stout. And then the next hitter, Mitch Willis, ended up going out to the left field corner. And a 4-pitch walk to Stout. And Iverson was throwing it into second base, so Stout had to move to his right to grab and throw to home. And had the man at home by a good 4 steps. So now here's Andy Gordon with a man on first base. One down here in the bottom of the second. First pitch. Check swing. As he does go around. Stout will take second just like he did when Gordon was up to the plate the first time. That one got away from the catcher, though. So Stout will take the bag on the pass ball. Hanson will come set. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Andy Gordon. Upstairs for ball one. Gordon's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Here's the 1-1 from Hanson to the first, the DH Gordon. That one gets in the dirt and gets away from the catcher in leg, and Stout will now take third. And it's a runner on third with one down. 2-1 is the count, and Gordon can get one to the outfield and can make this a 5-3 lead for Post State. 2-1 pitch. That one's upstairs, now 3-1. And we'll see how long the leash is here for Hanson. Going to be close to the end if he can't find the strike zone. Here with one down the bottom of the second. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That one will miss, and it's back-to-back walks. And that'll bring in Gray Zabel, who was part of that 3 straight hits in the bottom of the first inning for Post State. Zabel also came around to score. That made it 3-3. So with first and third, The number 4 hitter, Gray Zabel, as the man out in left field that's warming up. He is ready to go. He's standing in front of the mound in the left field bullpen. First pitch. This is low for ball 1. With Cade Hinkle on deck. Boy, if Hansen walks another one here, you'd think that might be it for him. Here's the 1-0. That one's chopped back to the pitcher. Bobbled, and now the only play is the first, as they will get Zabel out at first base. Hansen had problems trying to get it from his glove to his hand or just get it into his glove. And Gordon's able to take second. And here's Cade Hinkle now with 2 down. And a chance to drive in 2 runs. And even with those 2 walks in the inning, Hansen has a chance to work around it without a run scoring. Hansen on the outside edge, taking for a strike. Hinkle walked and came around to score. That made it a 4-3 lead for Post State. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, 2-0. River Iverson is on deck. He got an RBI the hard way by getting hit by the first pitch he saw in his first trip to the plate. Here's the 2-0 from Hansen to Hinkle. That one's grounded to the right side. That one will get through for a base hit. Gordon will round third. He's going to try and score. The throw comes to the plate. It's going to be up the line, and Gordon's going to score a 2-out, 2 RBI single for Cade Hinkle, and it's now 6-3. And Post State continues to hit well with runners in scoring position, and have been doing that since this past Sunday. This has been a really good week for Post State, hitting with runners in scoring position. As the first pitch to Iverson almost hits him again. Want to know to Iverson. You're thinking, what the heck did I do? Hansen will come set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Iverson will fight this one off, but it's going to be floated out to the shortstop, Rizvi, and he'll make the catch to retire the side here in the bottom of the second. 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the third inning. It is a 6-3 lead for Post State. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today it's KCCR, and today it's KCCR.com. Top of the third inning. It is a 6-3 lead for Post State. As for Sioux Falls West, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Rizvi, Otis, and Stahl to lead things off. Connor Rizvi got a base hit and came around to score in the top of the first inning. Him and Otis both reached base. Gabe Stahl was a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Benedine into his third inning of work. First pitch is upstairs and inside, and it's 1-0. Dean got a big 0 in that second inning, keeping a 4-3 lead, and they were able to tack on 2 more. 6 runs on 5 hits so far for Post State. There's a line shot down the third base line, but it's going to be foul. And it's now 1-1. 3 runs on 4 hits so far for Sioux Falls West. The 1-1 pitch for Bennett Dean to Connor Rizovy is looked at for strike 2, and it's now 1-2. Bennett Dean from the windup. Here is the 1-2 pitch. And a breaking ball that freezes Connor Rizovy, and no chance to pull the trigger. And he takes strike 3. And there's the first out and the third strikeout of the ball game for Bennett Dean. All 3 of them have been looking so far, too. Here's Dylan Addis, the third baseman. Walked and came around to score. First pitch swinging. That one's down the left field line. That one is deep, and that one will sail over the left field wall for a home run. And it's a 1-out home run. And it's a 6-4 lead here for Post State. That one got out in a hurry from the third baseman. Here is Gabe Stahl now. Stahl struck out looking in his first at-bat back in the top of the first inning. And here's the first pitch from Dean. That one misses upstairs for ball 1. Stahl will look to get on base here for the first time. Dean looking to put that home run behind him quickly. As that one's flown out towards center field. Matt Lusk will have to trace after that one. He's going to go back to the track. He's going to reach up and can't make the catch. It's going to go off the wall, and it's going to be a 1-out double for Gabe Stahl. And now the tying run is back up to the plate. 2 big hits in a row, hard hits for Sioux Falls West. And there's one down here in the top of the third inning, and that'll bring in Keaton Hartman, who tripled home 3 runs back in the first inning. Van Camp dove for that ball down the right field line, could not make the catch, and ended up being a 3 RBI triple. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Dean, right now, everything's been elevated so far in the strike zone. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's a check swing foul, and it'll get over the press box and out of play. 1-1, or out of the stadium. Runner on second. That is Gabe Stahl. Hartman wait on the 1-1 pitch. That one is just above the letters, now 2-1. Two hits in the first, second, and third inning so far here for Sioux Falls West. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside, 3-1. Graham Sanders is on deck. He flew out to the center fielder, Matt Lusk, back in the top of the first inning. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That one misses low, and it's a 1-out walk. And that will bring in Graham Sanders. And with Sanders up to the plate, but first and second, that double play is back in order with one down here in the top of the third inning. Here's the first pitch to Sanders. He'll line that one towards right center field. That's down for a base hit. That should score at least 1 run. Van Camp will go over to cut it off. He'll throw it in, and it's going to be an RBI double, 1-out RBI double. And it's now 6-5 as Jamie Legg will come to the plate. An RBI double from Graham Sanders. And so far, no action in the bullpen in right field for Post State. As Bennett Dean's going to try and work out another jam here in the third inning. First pitch to Legg is looked at for strike 1. He was a strikeout victim as well back in the top of the second inning. Dean will come set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one just misses upstairs. Now 1-1 to the catcher. Leg 0 for 1 so far with runners at second and third. The 1-1 pitch started to go, held up in time, missed inside, and it's now 2-1. Open bag at first base. Billy Chatwell, though, who tripled, he's on deck. Swinging a foul tip in the mid of Hinkle, and it's now 2-2. Zabel and Keenels are into the corners. Back up the middle. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball back up the middle. That's a base hit. And that will tie the ball game up. Matt Lusk will throw home. And heading to second will be Legg as Lusk fired that one home and missed the cutoff man in Zabel and allowed Legg to get to second base on the throw. And it's an RBI single for Legg, who advances on the throw to second base and is now second and third here with one down, and the ball game is tied at 6-6. A mound visit from Coach Brian White. So 3 runs in the first, 3 runs here in the third. Has made this a high-scoring affair as we've played just 2 in a third inning so far. Dean's given up multiple extra base hits here in this inning alone, a home run and 2 doubles. He's given up 2 different triples and another double as well. So 3 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, and 2 singles so far. Billy Chatwell, who is one of those 2 triples, comes to the plate. The number 9 hitter in the order. The 7th man to come to bat here in the third. With second and third again. They're going to stay back up the middle. They're going to concede the lead to Sioux Falls West here with 1 down. And that one's flown out towards left center field again. River Iverson going back on it. He's still going back. That one's going to get down, and it's going to drive in 2 runs. Rounding second is Chatwell. He's going to try for a second triple of the game, and he's going to get it. A 2 RBI triple for Billy Chatwell, who's 2 for 2 with 2 triples. And it's now 8-6 here in the top of the third inning. 14 runs combined as we've played 2 full innings and 1 out here in the top of the third. And Sioux Falls West leads 8-6. Ethan Barron, first pitch to him, misses low for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 so far. He grounded the shortstop Stout, and then he also grounded back to the shortstop Stout again, but he reached on a fielder's choice. That one's out to the right center field gap. Van Camp's going to come in. He's going to play it off the hop, and it's going to drive in another run on an RBI single for Barron. And it's now 9-6. And here's Mitch Willis, the 9th man to come to the plate, number 2 in the order, the 9th man to come to the plate here in the top of the third inning. A 6-run third inning. And there's just 1 out here in the top of the third. There's a fly ball out to the right field line, down the line, and it's going to get foul. A long strike 1 for Mitch Willis. Willis walked in the first, and a double in the second. But he was the one that got the double. That it was Barron that was thrown out at the plate on that double from Willis that ended the top of the second inning. So a couple of different base running errors from Sioux Falls West. And boy, if you scored both those runs, it's 11-6 right now. And who knows where things could have been. Post State was able to take advantage of those 2 base running mistakes from West. But they trail 9-6 though. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Go back to first and back in safely is Barron. And so though there's 2 down here at the top of the third, and that will bring in Connor Rizvi. Rizvi struck out looking to open up the top of the third inning. So Bennett D would like to, at this point, make the first and third out of this third. First pitch is outside for ball 1. For Post State in the bottom of the third inning, it'll be 7, 8, 9, Matt Lusk, Jack Van Camp, and Lincoln Keenels. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's at the letters now, 1-1 to the shortstop, who is 1 for 2. Singled in the first. Struck out here to open up the third. 9-6 lead for Sioux Falls West here in the top of the third inning with 2 down. 1-1 pitch. That one's popped up. Coverdale Stout will go back. Coverdale will take charge, and he'll make the catch as he goes into shallow center field, and that will retire the side. So 10 guys come to the plate. They score 6 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It is a 9-6 lead for Sioux Falls West. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. It is the bottom of the third inning. It is going to be 7, 8, and 9 here for Post State. Matt Lusk, Jack Van Camp, and Lincoln Keenels to lead things off for Post State, trying to come back from another 3-run deficit. They did it in the first inning, scored 4 runs to take a 4-3 lead. They got up to 6-3, and then Sioux Falls West in the top of the third came back from their 3-run deficit to now go back up by 3 again as they lead 9-6. Ethan Barron now on the mound for Sioux Falls West. The first starter of the ball game is out, and we'll see if Bennett Dean will stay in the ball game for the top of the fourth. But for Dylan Hansen, he went just 2 innings, gave up all 6 runs. All 6 of those were earned. He gave up 5 hits to Post State in those 2 innings. He walked 3 guys and hit another one and had registered 1 strikeout in those 2 innings. So Ethan Barron is on the mound. As he was the DH, he moves into the field. So the DH is gone for the rest of the ball game, and Dylan Hansen is done as well for this game. First pitch to Matt Lusk is outside for ball 1. Lusk did not have an official at-bat in his first trip to the plate. He had a sac fly RBI to drive in the 3rd run of the game for Post State. As there's a strike at the knees for a 1-1 count. Hinkle then came around to score on a pass ball when Van Camp was to the plate. That one's fouled back and goes over the top of the press box, and it's now 1-2. Lusk will look to be the leadoff man to get aboard. Although the leadoff man has been retired in the first 2 innings, and make it the first 3 innings the leadoff man has been retired for Post State as the ground balls to the second baseman, Willis. And now here's Jack Van Camp. So although the leadoff man had been retired in the first 2 innings, both of those times were Coverdale, Post State was able to score 4 runs in the first and 2 in the second. It's always nice to get that leadoff man aboard, but it wasn't really affecting Post State in those first 2 innings. But here's a new man on the mound, and Ethan Barron throws a first pitch strike to Van Camp, who got an infield single. It was a diving play by Rizvi that saved an RBI, or kept an RBI away from Jack Van Camp. as that one's inside now, 1-1. But he did end up at first base with a 2-out single where he was stranded in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled back to the netting, and it's now 1-2. As we near the 5 o'clock hours, we have ourselves a high-scoring ball game, 9-6. Here in the bottom of the third inning with just one down here in the bottom of the third. The 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2. Lincoln Keenels is on deck. If anybody can get on base, it will wrap things back to the top of the order for Coverdale. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Jack Van Camp. Swing and a miss. And Van Camp goes down on strikes. And here's Lincoln Keenels with 2 down. The second inning, top of the second inning for Sioux Falls West, they only had 4 guys come to the plate. Yeah, they still have scored 9 runs in the ball game. And Post State is in danger of going down in order here in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch is at the knees for strike 1. Post State will play on Sunday again, a doubleheader in Aberdeen. One in around 3:30. There's a ground ball, hot shot to the first baseman, one hopper, and in the bag himself goes Stahl. And that will retire the side in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. It is 9-6. Post State trailing Sioux Falls West after 3 innings. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here we are in the top of the fourth inning. It is a 9-6 lead for Sioux Falls West. First pitch, the third baseman, Dylan Aids, is going to be taken for ball 1. You know, 1-out home run back in the top of the third inning. They got the 6-run inning started. It was a solo shot. He is 1 for 1 so far. The count is 2-0 to the cleanup hitter, the third baseman. Now 3-0. Bennett Dean looking to find a way to get through 4 innings here. The 3-0 pitch. That one's at the knees on the outside corner. Is now 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's upstairs, and it's a leadoff walk. And here is Gabe Stahl. So Gabe Stahl, who doubled and came around to score back in the third inning. He is 1 for 2. Part of, again, that 7 straight guys that got on base. Those 6 runs scoring in the third. First pitch is missed, low and inside for ball 1 to the first baseman. That one is at the knees now, 1-1. 9 runs on 10 hits so far here for Sioux Falls West. Here's the 1-1 pitch as Stahl lines that one foul. And it's now 1-2, and Iverson's got to go grab that as it hooked its way around back into fair territory. Count is 1-2. Aids is on first. Stahl behind the counts as Dean will come set and deliver the 1-2 pitch. This is low, now 2-2. Had some action in the right field bullpen. Didn't see who it was that was out there, but no action right now. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's grounded foul, and that one to the third base side. And the man on deck, and Keaton Hartman got a piece of it with his bare hand. That was a hard ground ball right back to him. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. You don't see that very often when the right-handed hitter fouls one that hard to his side of the plate, the third base side. You see maybe being a little late and fouled it to the first base side. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Runners off. And it's another walk. Lead up 2 walks to lead off the 4th inning, and that will bring in Keaton Hartman, the center fielder. Hartman drew base on balls in the top of the 3rd. He also tripled in his first at bat. Back in the 1st inning, drove in all 3 runs that were on base. As Hinkle has a mound visit with Bennett Dean. 1st and 2nd with nobody out. Here in the top of the 4th inning. You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. We passed the 5 o'clock hour. First pitch, dropping down a bunt, right back to the pitcher and Dean, who throws a second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. But they're going to get that man at second to keep the double play in order, as Hartman bunted it right back to the mound. And Dean had a very good job of being a heads-up play to throw it to second and get the force at second. Still 1st and 3rd with 1 down is Graham Sanders, who had an RBI double. He's up once again. A ground ball could get you out of this inning. First pitch, and that one's into left field for a base hit. And Sanders has his 2nd RBI of the ball game. And his 2nd hit as well. It is now 10-6. And Post State, Bennett Dean has been hit hard here in the 3 1/3 inning. In action in the right field bullpen here for Post State. Bennett Dean will deliver the first pitch. That one's back up the middle. Coverdale will field. He'll turn and throw to second for 1. Back to first. And the scoop from Zabel is in time. And that will retire the side on the 4-6-3 double play. So another run scores on 1 hit in the inning. No errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 10-6. Post State down by 4. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, as we are in the bottom of the 4th inning, top of the order to start this 4th inning will be the 3rd time the top of the order has started an inning here through the first 4, as Andrew Coverdale, Garrett Stout, and Andy Gordon will be the first 3 hitters for Post State. And I believe we have a new pitcher again on the mound. I think. Well, I believe that's still Ethan Barron that's still on the mound. So he's going to get into his second inning of work. As he hit a 1-2-3 inning, and let's hope that if he was taken out, would have most likely been a sign of an injury, but he's in for his second inning, and Post State will try and damage that 1-2-3 inning he had last inning and start to inch back down by 4 here in the bottom of the 4th. Coverdale's 0 for 2 as he waits on the first pitch from Ethan Barron from the windup. No one misses inside, 1-0. Coverdale flew out to the center fielder in the first pitch in the bottom of the first. And he struck out swinging to lead off the bottom of the second as he hits here in the 4th inning. The 1-0. That one's fouled out of play, and it's now 1-1. Wind still blowing out towards left center. Not nearly as hard as what it was as the last couple of days. As that one's out towards center field. Coming in on it's going to be Hartman, and he's going to make the catch, and Coverdale is now 0 for 3. And that will bring in Garrett Stout. Stout is 1 for 1. He got a base hit in the first, walked in the second. He scored twice so far. As Barron will deliver the first pitch to Stout for the first time here this afternoon. That one misses high for ball 1. 10-6 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-0. Inside 2-0 to Stout. On deck is Andy Gordon, who has also reached base twice, who has also scored twice with a base hit and a walk. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's fouled back, and it's now 2-1. For Garrett Stout. And a 2-run home run yesterday to finish out an 11-1 win. As the 2-1 misses inside, now 3-1. Guy that's been working hard this summer is working on the tee, hitting on the field with the tee for, I believe what Coach Niles was saying, worked for about an hour after practice. That one is in the gap, and that one's going to get down for Stout. Going to be cut off by the left fielder in the left center field gap. Stout's going to try and get to second. The throw is wide, and Stout will be on with a 1-out double. And it'll be Andy Gordon that will come to the plate now. 6 hit in the ball game for Post State. Second by Stout. He's 2 for 2. Andy Gordon's 1 for 1. Singled home Stout in the first inning. Walked and came around to score. Or have a 2 RBI single from Andy Gordon. Or excuse me, from Cade Hinkle. To score Gordon and Stout. First pitch is upstairs. 1-0 to the DH here in game 1. Ian Zabel have been switching back and forth, being the DH as well as the first baseman. Barron will come set. Here's the 1-0 to Gordon. That one is on the outside edge, now 1-1. In action in the right field bullpen. Can't see exactly who that is. That's warming up for Post State. Here's the 1-1. Chopper to the right side. Coming over to the first baseman. Throws it overhand to Barron. He's going to find the bag. As Stahl couldn't underhand it. Over the overhand throw to Barron. That one's tough to make as a first baseman trying to lead the pitcher to the first base bag while throwing it overhand. And Barron was able to find the bag to retire Gordon for the second out. But Stout moves 90 feet over to third base. And a pass ball could bring him in. Gray Zabel comes to the plate. A base hit would easily bring in Stout. As Barron will deliver the first pitch to Zabel. That one's looked at for strike 1. Leg throw back to Barron. Hit a jump for it. Stout's a very heads-up runner. That ball gets past Barron, and the shortstop and second baseman not backing it up. He would have easily scored. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Zabel. That one upstairs now, 1-1. Two down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Zabel's 1 for 2 so far. A base hit, came around to score in the first, and he grounded out to the pitcher. And it's now 1-2, as that one is taken at the letters. And again, Barron's got to jump to get the throw back from the catcher leg. Stout leads away from third. Zabel will wait on the 1-2 pitch. That one is popped foul and out of play as it goes over Capitol Avenue. And we'll do it again at 1-2. In the fifth inning, it'll be 8-9-1 for Sioux Falls West. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And at the letters, Zabel looks at it for strike 3, and he goes down on strikes to end the bottom of the fourth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4, it is a 10-6 lead for Sioux Falls West. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the fifth inning. Benedine on for his fifth inning of work. He will face 8-9-1. Maybe I got myself screwed up here. Billy Chatwell is the first man as the first pitch is taken for strike 1. As that one is popped up left side, Iverson's going back, and he'll make the catch. Leadoff man is retired here in the top of the fifth inning.
Iverson brings to the plate leadoff hitter, Ethan Pierre.
So Barron will come to the plate. I'm not sure where I got thrown off here. Is Barron now? He is 1 for 3 so far and had an RBI single back in the third inning. First pitch to him, swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. So the 0-1 is upstairs now, 1-1. To the leadoff hitter, Ethan Barrett. Now 2-1. So on deck is Mitch Willis. It was 9-1-2 to start this fifth inning. The 2-1 pitch is looked out for strike 2 and is now 2-2. The 2-2 swinging a miss, and Barron goes down on strikes. And Benedine's had 2 quick outs here to open up the top of the fifth inning. Coach Sean Lewis has sent me a message. Replay of the 13U state championship game at Kelly Field tonight. Pierre is taking on Aberdeen. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. I already said the game's chippy. Pierre's up 1-0 after the first inning. We'll keep an eye on that game as that is played here in Pierre as well. Now 2-0 to the number 2 hitter, Mitch Willis, who is 1 for 2. He walked in the first, doubled in the second, struck out in the third. Hits here in the top of the fifth. Has a 2-0 count. There's a ground ball to the third baseman, Keenels. He sits on it, bobbles it, long throw to first, and not in time. Just beating it out is Zabel. And it's going to be an error charge to Keenels. The first error of the ball game from Post State. Here's Connor Rizvi. Rizvi is 1 for 3. Singled, struck out looking, and struck out looking to open up the third inning, and he popped out to Coverdale to end the third inning. 10 guys that came to the plate. First pitch is upstairs to the shortstop. So Dean will look to work out around the 2-out error. The 1-0 is a swing and a miss, now 1-1. On deck is the man that in his only at bat so far has hit a home run. Dylan Aids, he's 1 for 1 with 2 walks and a home run. 1-1 is on the outside edge now, 1-2. To the number 2 hitter, Mitch Willis. Or excuse me, the number 3 hitter, Connor Rizvi. Willis is on at first. The 1-2 is in the dirt. Runner is off for a second. The throw, is it going to be in time? It is. Coverdale was able to make the tag as Willis is thrown out, stealing second. And that will retire the top of the fifth inning. So Dean does face just 3 hitters in the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Or excuse me, no man left on base. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Post State down by 4, 10-6. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the fifth inning, it is going to be 5, 6, and 7 due up here for Post State. As Cade Hinkle, River Iverson, Matt Lusk came by, gets on base. It'll be Jack Van Camp. As Barron is on for his 3rd inning of relief. He's made quick work of Post State through those 2 innings so far. Has faced just 7 hitters and has allowed 1 man on base. Stout had a double. That's the only man to reach base against Barron so far, and as he works into his 3rd inning. Cade Hinkle swings and misses at the 1-0 pitch, and it's now 1-1. Hinkle is 1 for 1. He walked and scored in the first. He had a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the 2nd inning to make it 6-3, as that one's fouled back, and it'll be now 1-2. Post State trailed 3-0 after the first inning, scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first to lead 4-3, added 2 more in the second to go up 6-3. Then Sioux Falls West came back from a 3-run deficit to go up by 3, 9-6, as that one's going to get out of play, and it remains at 1-2. And then they tacked on 1 more in the 4th inning, and that's where we stand here in the bottom of the 5th, 10-6. Post State trying to extend that win streak to 7, as they are 7-3 right now here on the season with a 6-game winning streak. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside now 2-2. They'll go back to Aberdeen, or they'll play Aberdeen again, this time in Aberdeen on Sunday. And then we'll travel to Sioux Falls on Tuesday against Sioux Falls East and Yankton in a triangular. 2-2 is a check swing. Appeal to first, and he did not go. That's one that's hard for the first base umpire with the left-handed batter up to the plate, although Hinkle, I don't even know if he got anywhere near actually swinging. Here's a 3-2. That one's flown out to right field by Hinkle. Going back on the center fielder, and he will get into right center field to make the catch in Hartman, and the leadoff man is retired. And here's River Iverson. He is 0 for 1 so far. He was hit by a pitch in the first pitch that he saw in the first inning, which was also giving him an RBI. And then he popped out of the shortstop to end the bottom of the second. So the first 7 of 8 guys have gone down to Ethan Barron after Post 8 had 16 guys come to the plate. 15 guys come to the plate in the first 2 innings. Iverson will pop this one up into shallow right field. The second baseman going back on it. He'll make the catch as Willis backpedals into Sanders out in right field, and there's now 2 down. And that'll bring in Matt Lusk. So one time through the order here for Ethan Barron, and retires 8 of the 9. He's got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Matt Lusk. That one's a deep drive down the left field line, but that one's going to be foul. And it's going to hit that corner out there in foul territory and bounce back into fair territory, and have to be retrieved by the left fielder. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th, 10-6. Post 8 down by 4 to Sioux Falls West. Barron has been efficient in his relief appearance here for West. That was the 0-1. That one is bounced in, now 1-1. Jack Van Camp is on deck. Lincoln Keenels would be after that if they can extend the inning. A couple of batters trying to chip away from a 4-run lead. 1-1 is now at the letters, now 1-2. So Lusk will have to protect as Barron will deliver the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt, and a tag by the catcher. Actually did not tag him the first time. He will throw down to first to retire the side. It is a 1-2-3 inning for Sioux Falls West again. And Post 8, they trail by 4 after 5 complete. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. We are in the top of the 6th inning, and Justin Hulett will take over on the mound for Post 8 as he tries to keep this a 4-run deficit going into the bottom of the 6th inning. As he will face 3, 4, and 5. Connor Ricevi, Dylan Aids, and Gabe Stahl. As Ricevi, he is 0 for 3. They had changed the ruling from his first base hit to an error to Garrett Stout. First pitch is taken for strike 1. So he reached on an error. It was a strikeout victim in the 3rd and also got out in the 4th inning. He is back to the plate after it was Mitch Willis that was thrown out trying to steal to end the top of the 5th inning. Count is now 0-2 to Rizvi. So he comes up to the plate in the 5th inning, and then he comes back out in the 6th, and that's to face a new pitcher. And Justin Hulett, the 0-2 is upstairs now 1-2. So Bennett Dean went 5 innings, gave up 10 runs, as it was 9 of those were earned runs. As that one's upstairs now 2-2. Gave up 10 hits as well, as Justin Hulett will deliver the 2-2 to Connor Rizvi. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Hinkle will get the tag, and the first man is retired on a strikeout by Justin Hulett. Here's Dylan Aids, as Aids is 1 for 1 with a home run, a solo shot back in the 3rd inning that really got Sioux Falls West going. It made it 6-4 at the time. They scored 5 more runs. They've scored 6 in total since then, as they lead 10-6 in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. At the letters now 0-2. Justin Hulett doesn't throw hard, but when he's effective in the strike zone and changing the looks, it's hard to get hits off him. The 0-2 pitch, that one's softly hitting the center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit in front of Matt Lusk. And Aids just fought that one off and was able to get into the center field for a base hit. Here's Gabe Stahl. He is 1 for 2. Struck out looking in the 1st. Doubled in the 3rd. And he walked and was retired on a bunt attempt that got him forced out at 2nd. First pitch to Gabe Stahl is taken for strike 1. We play here in the top of the 6th inning here in game number 1. The 0-1 pitch. That one's chopped to the third baseman. Keenels on a high hop. The throw to second is in the dirt, but Coverdale's able to get the first out, and the throw to first is not in time. So it'll be a fielder's choice. And there's 2 down. And a good play by Coverdale, too. Make sure to get that first out at second. You always want to get that lead runner. And so there's now 2 down as Keaton Hartman will step to the plate, who is 1 for 2. He tripled home 3 runs, the first 3 runs of the game in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss. Quick throw back to first. They got him out. It's a back pick. Gabe Stahl at first, and that will retire the side here in the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Post 8 trying to claw back, down by 4 to Sioux Falls West. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Eight, 9, and 1 due up here for Post 8 as we play here into the bottom of the 6th inning. 10-6 is our score. Post 8 down by 4 runs to Sioux Falls West. They led at 1 point 6-3 in the ball game after trailing by 3, but have not scored since the 2nd inning. 3 straight zeros up on the board, and all 3 of those zeros have come away by the reliever Ethan Barron on for his 4th inning of work as the first pitch is upstairs to Jack Van Camp for ball 1. Van Camp got an infield single back in the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 3rd. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up on the infield, left side in foul territory. The third baseman will go over for it, and he can't make the catch as Aids was starting to backpedal. And Van Camp will get an extra life. As it's now 1-1 to the right fielder. So here comes the 1-1 pitch to Van Camp. That one is fouled out of play, and it's now 1-2. And that play by Dylan Aids, he got over to it. He kind of saw how much room he had, but he couldn't find it cleanly as that one is in the dirt now 2-2. Maybe he had a little bit of trouble with the sun and thought he was in the right spot and started to backpedal a little bit. And sure, on his heels, that ball started to bounce a little bit more and rolled off of his glove. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one misses low, now 3-2. And while the official scoring, to me, just doesn't, it's hard to fully understand everything with the 3-2 pitch. That one's chopped to the first baseman, an underhand toss, and Barron's able to keep his foot on the bag. And there's one down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And then you look, Van Camp was retired, and technically that should be an error on the third baseman, although Van Camp didn't get on base. That's one of those things that when you kind of really think about it, well, if somebody's got a perfect game going, you get an error on a foul ball, but you still face the minimum number of batters without anybody actually reaching base. Like, is that truly an error because it didn't drove the pitch count up, but Van Camp was still retired anyway. 0-1 is the count to Lincoln Keenels. That's now taken for strike two. And it's quickly 0-2. The number 9 hitter, Lincoln Keenels, he's 0 for 2 so far. And the fly out to left field and a ground ball to the first baseman. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, inside, 1-2. Andrew Coverdale is on deck. As Barron will deliver the 1-2. Ground ball right back up the middle, and Keenels got a base hit. He is now 1 for 3. Good piece of hitting there for Keenels. Stayed right on it. And Andrew Coverdale comes up with one down here in the bottom of the sixth. Just a second man to reach base off Barron here in his fourth inning of work. 7 hits in the ballgame now for Post State. Here's the first pitch to Coverdale. He is 0 for 3 as the first pitch is taken for strike one. Flew out to the center fielder twice. And has also been a strikeout victim. Barron will get the sign. He'll come set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Chopper to the third baseman on one hop. A's will throw to second for one. Back to first, and it is in time. And it's a 5-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the sixth. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and no men left on base. We have played 6 complete. Post State trailing by 4, 10-6. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here at the top of the 7th, Post State, as Justin Hulett will take the mound for a second inning of relief. He's going to look to keep this a 10-6 ball game, so Post State would need just 4 runs, not more, to keep the ball game alive in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is 6, 7, and 8. Keaton Hartman, Graham Sanders, and Jamie Legg to lead things off here in the 7th. The 1-0 is missed just low, now 2-0. Hartman is 1 for 2. He was the man that was up to the plate after a back pick. End of the inning. There's a ground ball. The shortstop Stout, the throw to first, and a good scoop over there at first base by Zabel. The leadoff man is retired to open up the top of the 7th inning. Here's Graham Sanders. Sanders, the right fielder, he is 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and 2 runs driven in. 1 on each of those 2 hits. Here's the first pitch. He's going to drop down a bunt down the third base line. Hulett will pick it up, and there's no play. And it's a bunt single for Graham Sanders. And he is now 3 for 4 in the ball game. "12 hits in the ball game for Sioux Falls West. As we play here in the top of the 7th, 10 runs on 12 hits. Their best inning was the 3rd, where they scored 6 runs on 6 hits. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. To the right fielder, the catcher, Jamie Legg. Justin Hulett will come set from the stretch. Here is the 1-0 pitch. That one misses low, now 2-0. Runner at first is Sanders. 1 down here in the 7th inning. Post State will have 2, 3, and 4 to lead off the bottom of the 7th. The 2-0 was over for strike 1. If Hulett can keep this a 4-run game, you get the heart of the order to come up to start the 7th inning, needing at least those 4 runs to send it into extras. 2-1's fouled back, and it's now 2-2. Game 2 will be around 30 minutes after this one is completed. So right now will be sometime a little after 6 o'clock before we get game 2 underway. As the crowd continues to get here after the 5 o'clock hour. Glad you could join us here on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. 2-2 pitch is inside, and it's a stolen base as well for Sanders, as without a throw from Kinkle. Pitch inside, and Legg did not have to move out of the way. He moved to make sure he wasn't hit by the pitch coming in. Hinkle had no play at second. Here's a 3-2. That one is in the dirt, and it's ball 4. And Legg is on at first with 1 down, and here's Billy Chatwell that will step to the plate. Chatwell is 2 for 3 with 2 triples in the ball game. He's driven in 2 runs as well. A lot of extra base hits for Sioux Falls West here in this first game. First pitch to Chatwell upstairs for ball 1. Ethan Barron is on deck. Be his 5th time to the plate if he does come up here in the top of the 7th. There's a fly ball to left field down the line. Iverson is not going to get over to it. He's going to be able to get to it before it got to the wall. He's going to hold everybody to a single, everybody to 1 base. So Chatwell is now 3 for 4. And here's Ethan Barron, the pitcher. Chance to help himself and add to this 4-run lead. Well, I thought Sanders was easily going to score on that hit from Chatwell, but third base coach held him up. Iverson with a strong throw back in. Keeps the bases loaded here with 1 down. Here's the first pitch to Barron upstairs for ball 1. Barron's 1 for 4. Ground out in the first, fielder's choice in the second, an RBI single in the third, and a strikeout victim in the 5th. 1-0 pitch. That one's popped up. Iverson, he'll wait for it. He's going to get a running start. 2 down as the runner will tag. The throw will come in. It'll be cut off by Keenels, and it's an RBI sac fly from Barons, and it's 11-6. And that'll bring up Mitch Willis, who reached on an error back in the 5th inning. So there's 2 down here at the top of the 7th. An RBI sac fly from Barron has made it a 5-run ball game. That one's out towards left field. Iverson's got to track it down. It's going to go one hop off the wall. Run will score. The next man, Chatwell, he's going to try and score. Stout will throw the plate, and Hinkle's got him again. Chatwell has been gunned down the plate twice. That's the 3rd time that Stout has gunned a man down the plate, and it keeps it a 6-run ball game. But it's a lot of work in front of Post 8 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They need at least 6 runs to tie this ball game back up. It's going to be an RBI double. But here is the opportunity for Post 8. It's going to be 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Post 8, they trail by 6, 12-6. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2, 3, and 4 due up for Post 8. They need 6 runs to keep this ball game alive. At least 6 runs keep this ball game alive. 7 would win it here in the bottom of the 7th. But since Ethan Barron has come to the mound, they've had just 2 guys reach base, and have only had 10. They've only had, let's see here, that would be 10 guys that have actually come to the plate, somewhere around there. As the first pitch is taken for strike 1. Or 13 guys, I should say, come to the play. They've had Stout was the only man that's been left on base, who got a double back in the 4th inning since Barron has come to pitch in relief. The 0-1 pitch inside, 1-1. Stout, Gordon, and Zabel, the first 3 hitters, have to get to Hinkle, Iverson, Lusk, Van Camp, Keenels. All 8 of those guys have got to come to the plate here in this bottom of the 7th inning, unless you're going to see Jack Van Camp hit a walk-off home run and the first 7 guys all score. 1-1 pitch is fouled back, and it's 1-2. Stout is 2 for 2. Been on base all 3 times, a single and a double, and also a walk. Post State's 6-game winning streak is in jeopardy here with Sioux Falls West leading by 6 in game number 1. The 1-2 pitches, 1-2 pitches in the dirt, and it's now 2-2. Barron will deliver the 2-2 from the windup to Garrett Stout. Chopped foul, and we'll do it again at 2-3. Things are moving pretty quick over there at the 13 or the over at Kelly Field. 4th inning, and Pierre leads 1-0 over Aberdeen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one in the dirt. Now 3-2. Andy Gordon is on deck. Starts with a leadoff man. Post State has failed to get the leadoff man aboard in any of the first 6 innings. 3-2 pitch. There is the first leadoff man to reach base. And that will bring in Andy Gordon, who is 1 for 2. An RBI single back in the first. He walked and scored both times in the first and second. And he grounded to the first baseman back in the bottom of the fourth. So the leadoff man is aboard for the first time here in the ball game. As time was called, Gordon had something on his batting glove. And the home plate umpire made sure he got rid of that. The first pitch is taken for strike one. And it's 0-1 here, the DH, Andy Gordon. Gray Zabel is the next man to hit, followed by Cade Hinkle. Here's the 0-1 to Gordon. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Decided late not to try and swing at it, but had already committed. And now he's down the count 0-2. Baird will come set. Here comes the 0-2 to Gordon. Upstairs, and it's 1-2. Trying to get that high fastball for Gordon to chase. Got a little bit too far inside as well. So now here's the 1-2 pitch to Andy Gordon. There's a line shot. That's down for a base hit, and the first two men are aboard. Stout will stop at second. No need to force the issue. Go station to station right now. And here is Gray Zabel. Zabel is 1 for 3 with a base hit, and he grounded back to the pitcher and also struck out looking. Cade Hinkle will be the next man to hit, and it's all about passing it on to the next guy right now. Down by 6 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Can't get that 6-run home run. He can only do so much. First pitch is in the dirt. 1-0, a good job by Stout. Again, these two guys on base, they mean nothing except for to try and, you don't have to force the issue because a lot of guys have got to get base hits to try and tie this game up. So you don't want to put yourself in a spot where you get thrown out trying to be too aggressive. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is in the dirt. Stout's taking off for a third. The throw is not in time, and he has got himself a steal, a little bit of a delayed steal. He got low in the dirt. And again, Stout aggressive on the base pass. And it's now first and third with nobody out. His second steal here this game. So the count is 2-0 to Gray Zabel. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for Sioux Falls West. 6 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for Post State. Here's the 2-0. Zabel will line that one back to the left side, and that's down for a base hit. He's got an RBI single, and there's the first run here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as it's now a 12-7 ball game. Here comes Cade Hinkle. And Sioux Falls West, even though with a 5-run lead, they're going to try and make sure somebody's ready to go just in case. Can't tell who's walking down there, if that's Michael Zeman or not. Yeah, Zeman is the man warming up in the left field bullpen for Sioux Falls West, or at least starting to get loose. That one will get away from the catcher, and to second and third it will be Zabel and Gordon, and that will take away the double play. But more importantly, Hinkle can make this a 3-run ball game if he gets a base hit. So the count, 1-0 to Cade Hinkle. And the 1-0 from the windup. Hinkle will pop it up on the infield, going to the outfield grass. The shortstop, Risavi, will make the catch, and there's the first out. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll bring in River Iverson. Well, next 3 guys get on base. Get 2 outs, and you find yourself starting to slowly get back into it. You can see that working. Iverson with two down, or with one down with runners at second and third. First pitch to him. That one misses for ball one. Iverson's 0 for 2. He got hit by a pitch, which drove in a run the first. He popped out to the shortstop and also popped out to the second baseman. Back in the second and fifth inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Iverson will foul it back, and it's held 1-1. On deck is Matt Lusk. He has not recorded a hit in the ball game yet, but he does have a sac fly RBI. Here's the 1-1 to the left fielder, Iverson. That one at the knees, now 1-2. Iverson's got to protect. I want to start that two-out rally too early. Keep the train moving. Here's the 1-2 to the left fielder. Iverson will ground it to the left side. Zabel will try and get in the way of Risavi to make the play, but he still does make the play. Run comes in to score. So it's now 12-8. Zabel's on at third, but there's two down. Now here in the bottom of the seventh inning. And Matt Lusk will have to find a way to push it to Jack Van Camp. Van Camp will have to find a way to push it to the Lincoln Keenels, and so on until at least 4 runs score in the inning. First pitch is missed low for ball one to the center fielder Lusk. He's 0 for 2. Ground out to the second baseman and also a strikeout victim. And the sac fly RBI back in the first. Here's the 1-0 to the center fielder. Upstairs now 2-0. Outfield playing straight away here for Matt Lusk. Here's the 2-0 to the center fielder. That one's at the letters now, 2-1. Lusk from the mound, he's 3 for 3 in save opportunities so far this season. Here's the 2-1. That one's at the knees, now 2-2, and Post State's down to its final strike here in game number 1. Van Camp hopes to have an opportunity here in the bottom of the seventh. Here comes the 2-2 from Ethan Barron to Matt Lusk. There's a line drive back of the middle. That's down for a base hit. Gray Zabel will score, and it's now 12-9. And Van Camp will come to the plate with 2 outs here. An RBI single, second RBI of the game for Matt Lusk. So here's Jack Van Camp, who's 1 for 3. And that tying run has moved to the on-deck circle. But Van Camp's got to find a way to get it to Lincoln Keenels. First pitch, Van Camp will pop it up, foul, and it should get out of play, and it will. And it's 0-1. Van Camp had an infield single back in the first inning. Struck out and also grounded to the first baseman. 2 down here in the bottom of the seventh. Ethan Barron trying to close it out would be you get the save, even though he's going to throw 5 innings, but two innings pitch for Dylan Hansen. Gave those 6 runs, but they had a 9-6 lead when Ethan Barron came to the mound. It's now 12-9. 0-2 is the count to Van Camp. From the stretch, here's the 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, outside, 1-2. Nowhere tempting the zone for Van Camp. Lincoln Keenels is on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Van Camp will take the inside, nearly clip the helmet, and it's now 2-2. Any way to get the at-bat advance to Keenels. In the bottom of the seventh, 12-9 is our score. Here's the 2-2. Van Camp will spoil the 2-2 pitch. And we'll do it again. Continue to find a way to move to the next man. Lusk will lead away from first. Here's the 2-2 from Barron to Jack Van Camp. That one misses low, now 3-2, just below the knees, and a good take there from Van Camp. Matt Lusk will get a running start. Make sure that the pitcher goes home with it. Down by 3. The Stahl will not even hold on Lusk. So here's a 3-2 pitch. Inside, upstairs, and Van Camp down 0-2 in the count will draw a 2-out walk. And the tying run will come to the plate. And we're going to have a pitching change. So Barron does not finish the job here in the top at the bottom of the 7th. And so we will have a new man come to the – actually, well, not quite yet. Maybe the coach was – Barron still has an opportunity to close it down. Coach was telling the man out there warming up and Michael Zeman to hold on and not come into the game. So Lincoln Keenels, he is 1 for 3. Flew out to left, ground out to the first baseman, got a base hit back in the bottom of the 6th. It was retired on a double play. Andrew Coverdale will like another opportunity, who's 0 for 4. Anyway, you can get on base. We put the tying run on base, and with Coverdale at the plate, you never know what might happen with him. He might find a gap somewhere. Here's the first pitch from Barron to Keenels. That one is taken for strike 1. Keenels is one of the, up until we got to the 7th inning, was one of 2 hits that Barron allowed in the first 4 innings that he was on the mound. Post State's gotten 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. The 0-1 pitch. That one will get through to the backstop, and those 2 runners will advance. Lusk to third, Van Camp to second. And now all of a sudden a base hit would make it 12-11. And Keenels would be that tying run, and Andrew Coverdale would have a chance to tie the ball game up. Still a 3-run lead for Sioux Falls West. They led 12-6 coming into the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, now 1-2. And again, Post State is down to its final strike here in game number 1. Barron's going to go from the windup. Here with a 1-2 count to the third baseman, Keenels. Here is the 1-2. Looked out for strike 3, and that will end the ball game. So Post State was able to score 3 runs in the 7th inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So that will end the 6-game win streak for Post State as they fall 12-9 here in game number 1. As time of the ball game, as we get over at 5:58, time of the ball game was 1 hour and 57 minutes. And Post State now is at 7-4. We'll step aside for 3 minutes and come back to wrap up game number 1. Also start to get you set for game number 2. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.